Was it for you being so much younger? Was it easy for you to get yourself your voice being heard, or were they more of because you're older?
Yeah, it was kind of that's the weird thing. It was a mix. Like they realized immediately that I would take no bullshit. You know, I was always like that. That I would make clear that I would have my voice, and it was because I realized that I was writing the riffs, and I had the sound that they wanted, everything. So I made clear, like, okay, we do it like I want to. But at the same time, it was a bit weird because I was too young to really understand like irony and sarcasm and that kind of stuff. And I sort of had this, you know, of course, now I realize, and I started realizing that for them it was a bit comical because I didn't even change my voice. I was like, you know. But I think that's somehow made them respect me more even. I was like this little guy.
Did you talk about it afterwards?
Yeah.
Maybe they were taking the piss out of you at certain things, but you didn't know because you didn't understand the irony or something.
Exactly. So I was getting it, and then I started realizing it, and I'm like, now I understand why you had to take a little break because you were laughing at me and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I still make them pay for it.
Okay, you still do. How?
Yeah, I can remind them like I've been writing the music for Enslaved now, every song for 23 years, and you know.
So you should be happy.
Yeah, I'm really happy, and I would do the same, you know, if we had some big thing happening, getting a really young guy into the band, I would be the guy who's laughing a little bit, you know.
A little bit more.
Because you're so naive when you're little.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I think it's just, in one way, I think it also told me that was accepted in a sense, you know.
But it's really because like you were saying, growing up, you felt a little bit as the odd one out, because you were into metal and stuff. But then you met them, but you must have had, even as a child, a really clear vision of who you are and what you want.
Yes.
How come?
I don't know. It's just when I heard this kind of music, and especially around a little bit later, like 11, 12, just around the time when Enslaved came around, when I heard like Bathory and started reading a bit of lyrics. I don't know, it's just something that happened that told me that this was a lifestyle, and even more than that, not a fashion or a hobby or something, but something that's really deep. And you know, when you read, in the old days, people would have these weird conceptions around their occupation. Like, you know, people would be knights, and some people would be astrologists or priests or whatever. You know, back when people were more, you know, seeing things as a meaning. I think you can relate to, I guess now I'm thinking about it because we're in this situation with the interview. When people say that they became a journalist or a photographer because they feel it's their mission or something like that, then I can relate to that, because the thing I want to do all the time in my ordinary life and every day is, it has to have some kind of meaning. It doesn't make sense for me to go and do some work to get the money and then party to make the pain go away in the weekends, you know. It has to make sense, and that's what the music did.
Looking back, because you've released many albums, you were saying making sense. Did every album make the same sort of sense for you in hindsight?
No, not all of them. They all have a meaning, and they all happen for a reason, and they're all valuable in the sense that they're making up the history of what we did. But some albums are a bit problematic in hindsight, not in sense. I know that Grutle probably because he was older or something, that he didn't react so much. But towards the end of the 90s, when we had some lineup troubles and stuff, it really bugs me that it reminds me so much of the feelings around the recording. They're still great albums, and they're logical steps in the development of the band. It kind of bugs me because that's why we changed again in 2003. We went back to just me and him again, because we didn't have the same kind of visions for the band. We had some guys in the band that didn't really want to work as hard, and I started realizing that it didn't really mean as much for them, and as it did for me and Grutle, and it still bothers me a little bit.